guys, welcome back to Still Here. Today we have a Q&A. Got a couple of questions that came through. I appreciate everybody that sent in questions. Got some really good ones today. I feel like I can dig deep into some of them. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody just following along. The support, it really means everything. You know, it feels like I'm doing the right thing. I'm helping a lot of people are helping each other. And that really is the key to Still Here, is keep pushing each other along and trying to be a positive force for everybody else. Got the new signature shirt on, as well as got these new flat brims coming out, signature edition. Leave your mark. Clean, the material's nice, full cotton, breathable. More like a dress shirt, go out with. As you see, classic black tee with the white lettering, with script. I felt like this was a good addition to the Still Here brand. Not something so aggressive and not something so flashy, just nice and classic. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll leave the description down below on where to order some from. And I kept my shirts at a good price so everybody can pick one up. I've noticed that prices through shirts have just went through the roof, honestly, and it's kind of ridiculous, but I get it. This economy is just fucking unreal. So let's dig in. So first question, I'll put out the questions right here. So first question is, how do you deal with failure? So that's a good one because in my life I've failed a lot. I've had a lot of tears come down this face. I've had a lot of upsetting moments. But how do I deal with them? First, I recognize what my failure really was. Was it a me issue? Was it just an issue throughout the day? Was it a product issue? Depending on really what it was. Most times when we're talking about failure for myself, I have to look deeper inside myself and realize, was it really me that failed? And learn from that. And when I say learn from that, you have to start to dissect what actually the failure looked like. Don't beat yourself up on it, number one. Try to learn from it. I know a lot of people say, you gotta learn from your failures. That really is the case here, is you have to sit down and dissect what the actual event was, what happened, and how you could have corrected the moment during the process, realistically. Second one is, if you have to feel like you have to sit there and sit in your own shit for a little while, do it. It's okay. It's okay. I've been around a lot of fighters and wrestlers my whole life, and watching them make a wrong move, and myself included when I fought for so long, and I'd go back to watching tapes and just look and be like, fuck, Take some time. It's okay. It's okay to go in the corner. It's okay to sit on your bed and let some screams out and let that energy out. A lot of people don't let people feel their feelings anymore. So I think you have to feel your feelings, and then dissect it from that point as well. Seeing why you feel that certain way. Is it an opportunity that you missed? And remember, opportunities always come and they always go. It's like sailing ships. You may miss one ship, but there's another ship coming down the harbor. So learn from your mistakes, meaning dissect the issue. Was it you? Was it a knowledge? Do you need to learn more in the subject itself? Feel your feelings. That's okay. And then another's a good one is surround yourself around positive people. If you're around people that are just going to drain your energy or just be negative all the time, that's not really going to help you get to that next level, achieving your goals, because now you're just going to sit there and just always worry about the failure. And a lot of people I've noticed is they fail and they fall, and it's just something that I think people have to realize. You're always going to fail, and that's okay, but you really need to learn from those failures. So how do I again deal with failure? I feel my feelings. I sit back. I don't think being reactionary is the best method most times, because again, it's kind of like you get up to do the same thing, but you've never learned from it. Unless you feel like you've learned at that moment, then cool, then go for it again. But at the same time, try to dissect where you're really at with it and make those improvements. Great question. Let's see. Second one. You have a lot of tattoos. Do you have any that have deep meanings to you? Also love the podcast. Thank you for following. Thanks for watching, guys. Also, thank you for whoever wrote this. A lot of my tattoos do have meaning, and some of them don't have any meaning. So what I'll do is I'll put pictures here of what some of these tattoos actually mean to me. My first meaningful tattoo was my abandoned house. So pretty much it's not an abandoned house. The way I look at it, it's framed. So I got a frame around it. And again, I'll put a picture here. What the house represents is everything. All my tattoos have a meaning behind them and a storyline behind them for a deeper meaning. The house itself is situated in like the early 1970s. Your car breaks down. There's no cell phones. There's no way you can really reach anybody to help you. And then you look up to the left and you see this house. Now the house looks daunting. It looks scary. It looks haunted. But then you go and knock on the door and you really don't know what you're going to expect. Somebody could open the door and it could just be a beautiful place inside. Children laughing, everybody having a great time. It pretty much resembles don't judge a book by its cover. Some people may look scary, some people may look off-putting in a sense, but you really don't know what they went through, and they may be just the kindest person you could ever meet. Second one would be, right after that, would be my skull in the fall. So fall is my favorite time of the season. So let's see if I can show you guys. Fall is my favorite time of the season. This one's a little deeper. It's a little bit more morbid. And this one was more of a kids were playing in the graveyard. They were not really, they were playing around the playground, but they were also picking on this kid all the time. The kid ended up taking his life. Nobody knew where the kid actually was. They couldn't find him. And then one day somebody was raking up some leaves and then they found the skull. And sometimes death's easier than life. And I know that kind of contradicts what Still Here is. It was a dark point in my life. And sometimes you don't know what somebody's really going through. You know, those kids picking on that kid every day of his life, not realizing he has to go home to another abuser. And he ended up just taking his life, and that's really where his skull was found, underneath a bunch of leaves. The autumn leaves are just a symbol of change. You know, every season's different. I find the beauty in change. It is scary, but I do find the beauty in change. So I think fall for me really resembles that aspect. So that kind of ties everything into that. Again, it is very morbid. I have a death moth. Really no meaning behind the death moth, just a real cool handpiece. Wanted to look badass. This one was a lot of meaning. After my first back surgery, I went to a really dark place. I let something into my body that I shouldn't have let in. I haven't told many people this story, so it's actually kind of cool that I can be vulnerable here. After my first back surgery, previous to this, BMXing, professional video game player, semi-pro BMX rider, was welding at the time, and my first back surgery really took me for a loop. I was in my room. I just felt myself getting deeper and deeper into a darker place. I allowed something, I don't know what it was, demon. I think it was a demon. into me. I used to have really dark thoughts. Anybody that would walk into my room, I'd get very aggressive with, and that's just not who I am, especially with my loved ones. So there was one day, it was probably about 3 weeks after my surgery. My mom knew something was wrong. My older sister knew something was wrong. And they took me out of my room and brought me outside to the light. And I remember fighting them every tooth and nail to go outside. My body was rejecting going outside. My body was rejecting not being around them. Something just was wrong. I do remember the night that I let something in. It was a dream that I had. It was everything was white, and then there was this big like medieval time door with a devil's face on it. And I remember walking up to it and hitting it 3 times, boom, boom, boom. And then I stepped back, and then the devil's face, or the demon's face, started laughing. And as soon as that had happened, I remember waking up, and that's when I knew something. I didn't actually know at that point that something was in me, but things just started going downhill from that point. So, fast forward, like I said, those 3 weeks. My mom and sister brought me outside. They saged me. I just stayed out in the sun, made sure that I was out in a lot of light. I started fighting it. Whatever was inside me, I started fighting it, and I was able to release it, which, thank God I did, obviously, because the thoughts that I was having weren't good. They were not easy. Hurting myself, hurting people. And so this tattoo, going back, so this tattoo is about possession. It's a woman losing herself, and you can see the demon starting to take over. And then it goes to this one up here, where she loses her eyes. Now, eyes are a very powerful thing. You can see somebody's soul through their eyes. So once she had lost her eyes, she had pretty much died. And then we get to this other morbid part, where this one just ties in, where it's pretty much the demon has taken over, and now it's about revenge and drinking the blood of your enemies. I am someone that does believe in revenge. I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with that, but in my eyes, I look at it as almost karma. I mean, for example, if you're walking down the street and somebody puts a banana peel, funny enough, a banana peel to make you slip, that was intentional to hurt me. So I won't get you today, I may not get you tomorrow, I may not get you a week from now, months from now, it may be years, but at one point I will get you, and I know that's something I have to work on. I'm not perfect. It is something deep inside me that I know I have to continue to keep improving. And again, I think it's good that I can be vulnerable. So that's what this tattoo pretty much means. It's a whole possession about something taking over me. And then the revenge aspect is pretty much if you do wrong by me on purpose, I will get back in the sense, not in the sense of physical, but maybe I'll stop you from getting a job that maybe you could have got, where I'm buddies with the owner and hey, what do you think about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I don't think you should give him the job. And that's kind of where my thought process goes. Again, is it perfect? No, but at the same time, it's something I'm working on. Let's see, what else? My Viking woman, pretty much just a warrior. At the top here, it means war. Just somebody that's been through shit, battles, craziness, and came out the other side. So that, yeah, I mean, I have a Bowie knife on the side of my leg. Doesn't really mean anything, it was just pretty cool. And then I have an owl. And then, oh, this is a good one. Let's see. It's on my, actually, I'll just take a picture of it. It's on my back of my calf. My wife had bought me this tattoo back in, we were in Sedona, and it was just another spiritual awakening. You know, you'll have those throughout your life where you can really get through the veil of things and start to see what life looks like for yourself and what life really is, and realize that the monotonous things in life are really nothing. And the challenges are to challenge your soul, to challenge you to become better for when you do pass. So the tattoo on the back of my calf means a lot to me because I learned a lot in that trip about myself and about what life is. I have on my knuckles, which I hate. They came out so bad, and it wasn't the tattoo's fault. It was actually the artist's fault. It was my fault. I picked the wrong font. But pretty much what it says is the end, with a casket here and a scythe here. The end, pretty much. Take it as you want to take it, realistically. I can't believe I just told everybody all my tattoo secrets, but I think it's good to be vulnerable. Number 3, here we go. Do you have any books or audiobooks you recommend for self-improvement? Yeah, I have actually one that's really changed my outlook on myself. It was called No More Mr. Nice Guy. So when I came to this country, my dad was a Navy man. He was always either on tour, or he was, always just working. So my mom took care of me and my siblings a lot of the time. So I had gotten a lot of more of a female aspect of becoming a man, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I do believe that you need both to become something more, especially as a man, because you need both parts, realistically, in my eyes. So what the book's about is pretty much it kind of hit home for me, because it was a lot more of the things I was doing but not realizing. I'd be more passive aggressive to my partners or friends. For example, if I went and picked them up from the bar, and I don't want to ask for gas money, but in my head I'm like, hey, you gonna give me gas money kind of deal, or hey, a thanks or anything to that degree. But I would never say. I would just get really passive aggressive. And that changed my outlook on life a lot, especially with this book. The way to deal with women, because again, I was only taught by my mother, which was great. But I also learned different ways to treat women, which is an amazing thing. But then I also didn't understand the other aspects of what a man should do and what they provide and things to that degree. So the book itself kind of teaches you traits that you've learned without being upfront and being honest. It's more of the passive aggressiveness, the hints, instead of just getting right to the point. So again, I think it's a great book for a lot of men that their moms brought them up and they really didn't have that father figure. Now again, my father was in my life. He was, he helped me learn to become a man, but from the age of literally 5 to 12, my mom was everything. My dad was working, he was providing, he was doing exactly what he needed to do, was provide. So he did teach me a lot about working, things to that degree, but I also spent more time with my mom, so she taught me other aspects where my father didn't have that time to really teach me until I got older, when I'd go on work trips with him. So, great question. Number 4, I'm at the lowest point in my life. Do you have any advice? Yeah, find that silver lining. Find that silver lining, meaning find that little bit of spark that makes you happy. Whether it's whatever, walking dogs, creating something, find it, and then just double down on it. I know I say that a lot, but I'm a true believer that you can become a master at that one thing, and you can just continue to keep enhancing your happiness behind that one thing, until you have enough courage to do something else, and then you kind of move on to that, and then you learn these skills. Realize that not every season lasts forever. You know, you may be going through a periodical time in your life where things are fucking hard. Finances are hard. You have no friends. Nobody really wants to talk to you. You have a negative outlook on life. Try to find the positive. Try to realize that you're in the lowest spot of your life right now, which you know, and start to be grateful for certain things that you have. You know, for example, like I don't walk well anymore. I can't use the bathroom normally, and those are things I think people take for granted. And I think you should be grateful for certain things that you do have and other people don't have. And yes, you could say, oh, well, woe is me, but realistically, I mean, you have an opportunity. If you want to make it, you can make it. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. And like I said, if you're at the end of your rope and you just feel like you don't want to be here anymore, just push it another day. I guarantee something will pop up. Again, because not every season lasts forever. And that's such a true statement. So, whoever wrote this, keep pushing. Seriously. I guarantee everything will turn out really well. Life is beautiful when you actually look past all the bullshit. The materialistic bullshit, the politics, fuck, man. There's so much we got going on right now. Just truly try to push through this. And I guarantee things will start to look up for you. Thank you for the questions, guys. Really, thank you. Like I said, I'll continue to keep doing these. I haven't been on in a little while. Been battling with anxiety, and I've kind of felt like I've gotten control of that now, which I'm happy about. And that was a battle that most people didn't know about. I run all these other businesses, and I'm always out talking to people, but when doing things like this, it's coming out of your shell and being vulnerable. And I'm honestly not ashamed to be vulnerable. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to continue to keep doing a lot of these and have more interviews. So stay tuned, guys. Still here.